All right, here we go. Today we have Joey Merlino, a.k.a. Skinny Joey, who the media has claimed for years is the boss of the Philadelphia Mafia. Welcome to VladTV.
How you doing? Welcome. How are you?
Well, it's your first time here.
Alleged.
I want to start in the very beginning.
Go ahead.
So, born and raised in South Philly.
Yes, my whole life.
Okay. And your parents are Italian, Salvatore Chucky Merlino and Rita Giordano?
Yeah, that's my mother, yeah.
Okay. So what was it like to grow up in South Philly in the late 60s, early 70s?
It was nice. There was no locks on the door. You could do whatever you want in the neighborhood. Nobody ever stole anything. Nobody's houses got robbed. Tight-knit, all town. Everybody helped each other. Outside all night. Listen, when I was a kid, I was never home. I went home to eat. That was it. The kids are all up today. That's why they're all fat. They play video games. They don't do a thing. We played every sport. Hockey, football, baseball, stickball, you name it. We played it. My mother came and got us. We came home from school at 3 o'clock. We were out till 5 o'clock. Came in 8. As soon as we're done dinner, went out till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Home, bath, shower. We didn't have shower. We had bath. We had no air conditioning. Got up, went to school the next day. But we were always active.
Okay, so you're growing up, and in terms of your dad, did he tell you what he did for a living, or what did you think he did for a living when you were a kid?
He worked in a mechanic place, Armstrong Springs.
Okay.
And he was a bartender. He was a bartender.
Okay. Well, he owned a bar at one point, right?
Yeah, he had a bar.
Was it the 9M?
Well, yeah, 9M bar. That was in the late 80s, though. I'm talking about like 70s, early 80s, 70s, early 80s.
Okay, so as a kid, did you get in trouble, or were you a relatively good kid?
Every day, trouble. Every fucking day. My mother beat me up every day. My father, like 4 times a year. Every day my mother beat me up.
So, what was the first time you really got in serious trouble?
Since I was let out of the house. Every day. I mean, we always something. We were bad.
Okay.
We were bad kids. But good bad. Not like no, we just, whatever. Broke windows, fucking threw eggs. We used to throw eggs at cops. Mischief night. That's what everybody in South Philly did.
Okay. Were you getting arrested as a kid at all?
I got a few times. Minor shit, throwing eggs at cops. But the cops used to laugh at us. They used to take us and drive us like 2 miles away and let us walk home.
Okay, so nothing serious. You didn't get any serious crimes as a kid?
No, nothing serious. Driving without a license when we were 15, you had to be 16 to drive, like that.
Okay, so did you know about the Mafia as a kid?
No.
Not at all. Okay, well, let's talk about the backdrop of what's happening right now at that time. So by 1980, when you were 18, the Philly boss, Angelo Bruno, got...
He lived around the corner from me.
And, I'm sorry?
He lived around the corner from me.
Okay. And that set off a whole bunch of events. So they're saying that the murder was orchestrated by his consigliere, Antonio Capongiro. And then because he didn't get permission from the commission to actually do it, he was found dead in the trunk of a car.
I don't know nothing about it. I was a kid. I have no clue. All I know is he got killed. That was it.
Right. Then Phil Testa became the new boss, and he appointed Nicky Scarfo as his consigliere.
I don't know nothing about that. That's way before my time.
I'm just kind of setting off the backdrop of what's happening. Not to say, you didn't know anything about that. I'm just kind of setting up what's happening in the background. And then, Phil Testa became the new boss, and then he got killed by a nail bomb under his porch. And, they're saying that was ordered by Peter Casella and Frank Narducci Sr. And then Narducci gets killed, and Casella had to leave, and there was just a whole internal war in terms of what's happening. And at the end of all that, Nicky Scarfo became the boss of the Philly family. Did you know Nicky at all?
Yeah, I knew Nicky.
Okay, so what was Nicky Scarfo like?
He was a good man. He was a man. He was a good guy.
Okay.
His
What
nephew
were some of the moments that stood out in terms of your interactions?
with Nicky,
Yeah.
he was always dependable, always on time. If you had to be there at 5 o'clock, you better be there at 5 o'clock. I mean, he was a good man. He was a good guy. Nicky was a good man. I mean, look, he went to jail for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a good guy. His
Well,
nephew.
they say
What?
they say after Nicky became the boss, they promoted your dad to the underboss.
I don't know nothing about that. That I'm not going to talk about. I don't want to
Got
talk about none of that.
You don't know anything
I don't
about
want to talk about none of the mob stuff. I want to talk about the rats.
Okay, fair enough. So, 82, Nicky Scarfo goes to jail for gun possession for 2 years.
Right.
And then in 84, you got into a situation with aggravated assault.
Yeah, I got locked up.
Okay, so tell me exactly what happened.
We was in a bar. I was in a bar, Lido. It was like a restaurant. It wasn't no nightclub. It was like a restaurant. Older crowd. They had a band in there. And Philadelphia's mother came in there. He left this out of his book. And she was in there drunk. And these 3 guys kept on bothering her, asking her to dance. They were dancing with her. I went over. I brought her back to the bar. You know, and they wouldn't stop. I'm little. I just got done being a jockey. I was 120 pounds. They were big. And a fight broke out. I hit one with a chair. They hit me. Bing, bang, boom. But I didn't get locked up for like a year later. One of them somebody got stabbed. A riot broke out. Somebody got stabbed. They locked me up a year later. They charged me with 2 counts, aggravated assault and possession of 3 charges. 2 aggravated assault. I went and got sentenced. The lawyer told me I was getting probation. I got 21 years. But they ran a concurrent. I didn't know what the concurrent meant.
Right, yeah. 2 counts of aggravated assault, 1 count of possession of a weapon for unlawful purpose.
They got me 7 years each one, and then they ran him concurrent, but I didn't know what concurrent meant. I know, I went to 9th grade. And then I did 2 years in jail, and I got out.
Well, you were also banned from the New Jersey casinos?
Yeah, youngest guy in the country barred. They still won't let me in.
And that was because of that fight?
No, I think I might have got barred before that. I'm not, like right around that time I got barred. We all got barred. Me, my father, Nicky, Salvi, Philip, my uncle, other pieces. Yeah, like all of us, we all got barred.
So you can't walk into a casino at all in Jersey?
If I'm taking a heart attack right now on the boardwalk, I can't go in and get medical attention. They won't let me in.
Okay, and like you mentioned, your dad got banned as well as your other family members.
Yeah, we all got, I think it was all the same time.
Okay. Now, your sister was at one point engaged to Salvatore Testa.
Yes.
He ends up getting.
Yeah, I was in jail. I went away when he got. Yeah, I was away when he got.
How did your sister take that?
I mean, she couldn't have took it well. I mean, well, they were broken up though. Nobody knows that they were broken up before that.
Uh-huh.
The engagement was off.
Okay. Well, and then in 1988, your dad got sentenced to 45 years.
Yeah.
For 2 counts of racketeering and drug trafficking.
Yeah. No, I think they beat the drugs.
Oh, they beat the drug trafficking charge.
They had a RICO case before that. Drug case. They got acquitted. All of them. And then they had that RICO case, they won. And then they had after that was the Testa murder, they beat that. And then they came with a racketeering case with everything in it. And they got convicted. That's when they got the 45 years.
Okay, and you were 26 years old when that happened.
Yeah. Around there, 26, yeah.
I mean, how does it feel to be that young and your dad is almost getting a life sentence with that many years, essentially? Because your dad is what, maybe in his 50s at this point?
Well, they had 45 years, and he got life with no parole for another murder. So he had life. Pennsylvania, you get life, you never get out. And then he had the 45 years with the feds running wild. But then they won the appeal on the murder case. I think it was, 90-something. They went back to trial and they got acquitted. And that's how they just had the Fed sentence.
Okay, so ultimately, how many years did your dad have to serve?
What did he do? He would have came home in 2016. I think he had 26 in, 20, 25, 26. Straight.
Okay, and then what happened?
He died. He died in jail.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
he died. He only had like 18 months left.
how did your dad take it?
Like a man, like he's supposed to. So you're supposed to.
I mean, I'm sure at that time he was given lots of opportunities to cooperate and make that whole jail sentence go away.
Any one of them could have did it. It's that easy. Anybody could do it. You don't even have to
Right.
know somebody. You seen the podcast I had with the kid the other day? He didn't even know me. They told him, we'll let you go. That's how easy it is. But my
Okay.
father would never even think of that.
Did you visit him regularly in
Yeah.
prison?
Well, they stopped me when I got locked up. They wouldn't let me visit him no more. When I got out, they wouldn't let me visit him. The warden stopped me. I couldn't come in a visit. I had to get special permission. He was dying. Let me see, when was it? I got out 90, when did I get out? 2014, 12, I forgot. When did I get out? 14? And he was in bad shape. And I wasn't allowed to go visit him. And then they gave me special permission. I went with my mother. We went to go see him. He was in a hospital in Texas. They had 30 guards in a room, handcuffed to the... If they told him you get up and walk out, he couldn't get up and walk out. And then he died like 2 days later. But at least I got to see him before he died.
Sorry for your loss, man. I lost my dad a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
Well, right around 89, there was a rumor that there was a $500,000 bounty on your head. And I guess a TV reporter asked you, and you said,
Dave
give me the
Troutweiler.
$500,000 and I'll shoot myself.
Yeah, I just came out of a bar. The guy dropped the microphone, the camera guy, whoever the f he was. I just got buried in football. I was coming out of the bar, and he said, there's a $500,000 bounty to kill you. I said, $500,000, I'll shoot my fucking self right now for $500,000. The guy dropped the fucking camera. He started laughing.
I mean, was that the first time you heard that, or you heard that before?
Nah, they used to fucking tell me every other week. I don't pay attention to it.
Okay, so you weren't bothered at all knowing that people are saying that you have that much money on your head?
No.
No? Okay. Because over time, there were attempts on your life.
Yeah,
How many total attempts?
I don't know. I got shot once, drive-by. I don't know, but it came out in court testimony. They said 30 times. I have no idea.
Okay, and we'll talk about those as we go on with the story. But ultimately, they never got to collect that money because you're still here.
No, I'm still here.
Right.
See if I could borrow $500,000 on it.
Well, that same year, you were charged with interstate theft and conspiracy.
What year was that?
89.
Oh yeah, but
I guess it was based on a federal armored truck.
Yeah, the armored truck. Yeah.
Okay, so in 1987, there was an incident with an armored truck
Right.
where $352,000 was stolen.
Yeah, the wrong bag got thrown out.
Right. And in 89, you were actually charged with that incident.
Yeah. So, yeah, 2 years later.
And then in 1990, you were actually convicted of that whole
Yeah,
incident.
I went to trial. Yeah.
Okay.
The two guys
Since you got convicted.
the two guys
Sorry,
who
go ahead.
orchestrated it both told on me. I really had nothing to do with it. The guy Barone took me in at the end. He set up with this other kid, Iggy, another rat. And I guess they took me just to get out of jail. And I went with them. It was an inside job. They just put the bag out. All you did was pick the bag up, put it in the car. There was no guns or no violence or nothing. And they both told on me. They got probation. I got 4 years. The max was 5.
So this huge robbery that you had nothing to do with, the guys who did it said that you were the mastermind behind it?
No, they couldn't say I was. The judge was ready to throw me out of the case. Of course, it was only the one witness. It was the kid Iggy, this other fucking rat. He was the driver. He was the dumb fucker who threw the wrong bag out. And then we got pinched. He really never talked to me, so he told on Richie, and we were going to trial. We started trial, me and Richie. He was sitting right next to me. And then there was a delay in the trial for like a day. And then the next day, his lawyer, I mean, we made our opening statements. His lawyer said, I got an alibi. My client was in a casino when this happened, and he wasn't there. And then there was 1 day delay, and the next thing I know, he was he was a witness against me. And they both got probation.
They got probation, even though they're the ones who actually did the crime.
Yeah, they got probation. They didn't do a day. And
right,
I got all the restitution too.
You had to pay it all back.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Nice
and then
country.
You got 3 years or 4 years?
4. The max was 5.
Aha. Okay. So how did it feel to now be back in prison again?
That was all right. Got in shape. You make the best of it. What the fuck you want to do?
Right. What do you think between this time and the last time you got locked up over the fight? What was the worst thing that you experienced while in prison?
In prison?
Yeah.
People get... I wasn't in... I mean, in 92, well, I went away 89, 90. You know, I was in the mediums. And when my last bit, when I got to 14 years, I was in the penitentiaries. There ain't no fucking games there. None of them guys could go there. None of them.
Okay. So you're saying that up until this point, it was relatively light.
I mean, the worst you're going to see is a guy get hit with a lock, whatever. You know, in the mediums, at the lows, there's not in fights. But in the penitentiary, there ain't no fights. I didn't see one fight in all them years. You're getting stabbed, you're getting hit with a fucking mop wringer, lock, microwave, you name it. They don't play games.
Okay, so when you get locked up, they're saying that you met a guy named Ralph Natale?
Oh, that was in 92.
92, exactly.
Well, 90. Yeah, I went to McKean, he was there.
Okay, so tell me who Ralph Natale is.
A fucking bartender, lying piece of shit. That's what he was.
Okay. Well, why is he a piece of shit?
Look what he did. He destroyed his family. He got his kids locked up twice for selling meth while he was in jail. What father tells their son to go cook meth while they're in jail? He's in jail for meth. He's got his kids cooking meth. He got his son-in-law locked up. He got his son locked up. He's a piece of shit. Listen, you made a promise to me now. I come on the show. You can't interview no more rats.
Okay. I can't make that promise.
You said you would. Your guy said he would. No more rats.
Unfortunately, some of the people that I interview have cooperated in various ways. You know, you've seen my interviews with like Sammy the Bull. And
I never watched one interview. I swear on my mother. I never watched none of their videos, none of them.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So then you come out in 92, 91?
No, 92.
92. Okay. So what was it like to come out at that point?
No, it was good. I went to the halfway house. I only did a couple years. I did 3 years. 2.5 years, 3 years.
Okay. And in 93, there was a drive-by shooting that happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me exactly what happened in that situation.
We were walking down the street, me and Michael. Turned around, seen a gun point at shots, and we got shot.
Right. You got hit 4 times?
No, I got hit twice in the ass.
Okay. But your friend, Michael
Sanginiti.
Sorry. Your friend Michael Sanginiti was actually shot in the chest.
No, he got shot one time he put his arm up. The bullet hit him over here, and then it went through his aorta. If he would have kept his arm down, he might have lived. You know what I mean? He had big arms.
Right. He gets shot in the torso, and then does he die right there, or does it take a while?
No, he was in my arms. I was waiting for the rescue squad.
Okay. By the time they arrived,
I made him go. He went in the rescue squad because he was bleeding bad. And two black kids from the neighborhood drove me to the hospital. Well, I got in a fight driving to the hospital. We got in a fight driving in the car, beeping the horn. A guy pulled over, wanted to fight us. I'm shot in the back seat, bleeding. This guy wanted to fight us. And then I just got dropped off outside the hospital. I wheeled myself in.
Okay. How did it feel? Because this was like your best friend, right?
Yeah, yeah, he was.
So you're holding your best friend as he's dying right in front of you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know he was in bad shape. I didn't know he died till when I was in the hospital in my room. I put the news on, and they said he was dead. I didn't know because they took him in an ambulance.
When you found out that he died, how'd you feel?
No, I was sick. How would you feel if your best friend died? Right?
Uh, yeah, I don't know what I would go through,
Yeah.
man. I've
Right.
had people I've known get killed after the fact, but not in my arms like that,
Right.
like right in front of me. I've never experienced that.
Yeah, it was up.
Okay. And the rumor is that two gunmen that Stanfa actually hired were the ones who did it.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea who shot me to this day. They say this one did it, that one did it. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay. So nobody got convicted of that, is what you're saying.
No, not that I don't know. I don't know. Not that I know.
Okay. But I mean, during that time, there was really like a mess that was happening. Do you remember the date that shooting happened? Was it September 17th?
When I got shot?
Yeah.
No, I got shot. It was summer. August 5th, I think. Yeah, August 5th.
Okay. Right. Because during that time, it was a mess. Stanfa and his son got shot while on the expressway. His son ended up getting shot in the jaw. I think another one of your friends got shot on September of that year.
No, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about there.
Okay.
I got charged with with that shooting, and I got acquitted. Make sure you put that on there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, but at one point, this guy named Philip Coletti, he testified in court. Do you know who that is?
No, I never. If he walked in here right now, I never seen him in my life.
Okay, so a guy named Philip Coletti, who was allegedly hired by Stanfa, he testified in court that he planted a remote control bomb under your car several times, but it never went off.
I guess he didn't know what the he was doing. I don't know. I don't know him. His wife said she tried to kill me too.
Okay.
She tried to put cyanide in my drink. She was so fucking ugly, I wouldn't even talk to her.
I mean, how does it feel when all these people are trying to kill you?
It was all right.
It's all right.
Went about my day.
I mean, did it make you think that maybe you need to just move somewhere else?
Nah,
like,
why?
get out of this area?
I didn't do nothing wrong.
Okay.
Went to dinner, out drinking, went to sporting events. If that's a crime, then kill me. What am I going to do?
Right. Well, because that same year you got arrested by the FBI and charged with a violation of your supervised release.
Yeah, I got violated every time I was on supervised release.
Okay, what do they violate you for that time?
Talking to a convicted felon. You're not allowed to talk to somebody when you're on supervised release. You can't talk to a felon. Me and you could be in the same cell for 20 years. We come home tomorrow. If I see you, I can't talk to you. It's fucking. So but that's just the way they put you in. It's like a revolving door.
Yeah. How long do they send you back in after you violated?
She gave me 3 years. I did a year. I did a year on a violation.
Got it. Got it. So now you get out. And then Stanfa ends up getting arrested for RICO, gets convicted, and gets sentenced to life.
Right.
So now you're out. And, well, bunch of stuff happens that we can't really talk about.
Right.
Can you talk about a guy named Louis Tara?
Who?
Louis Tura.
Yeah, I know him. I know of him.
Okay. Because at one point, Louis Tura, allegedly he was beaten by, he felt it was by someone that was affiliated with you. He had a meeting at his house where him, his father, and some other guys basically talked about killing you.
I don't know nothing about it.
Louis Tura gets arrested and he ended up hanging himself in his jail cell.
What did he do?
He hung
Oh,
himself.
he hung himself. Yeah.
You heard about this?
Yeah. It's in the paper. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know who Anthony Tura was at all?
No, I don't know them. I know the brother. I know they breed rats. The brother Rocky's a rat. They're all rats.
Right, because his father, Anthony Tura, got arrested also for plotting to kill you, and then he got shot dead outside of a federal courthouse.
Yeah, I was acquitted of that too.
Oh, they charged you for that?
Yeah, I got acquitted.
Okay. So what was that trial like? How did you end up beating that case?
They didn't believe the witnesses. They didn't believe Ralph. They love Ralph. Ralph got caught more fucking lies than he got caught. He said after, I don't know who got. He knew that my grandfather. I said it on my podcast. My grandfather was good friends with Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe and all them, and we had a house. That's where I was born and raised, 927 Jackson. And he, everybody knew. Like they used to block the street off. Joe DiMaggio come to my house. Yogi Berra, all the Yankees. My grandfather was good friends with Joe DiMaggio. Was his guy, and I guess Ralph was older than me, so he knew. He knew about the house on Jackson Street. So we're on trial, and this lying he's on the stand, and he says, after the murder, was it? I think Veazey, one of these murders. He said, we met at my house on Jackson Street. He come up with this big story. Every house the same, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. He said the house, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. He hugged everybody, kissed. He made it sound like a movie. So I'm sitting there. Now this is supposedly happened in 90, fuck was it? 94, 95, whatever. I said to my lawyer, the fucking house, it's impossible. So we went and got the deed. My grandmother sold the house to Chinese people 3 years before that. So now we bring the Chinese guy in with an interpreter. And my lawyer says, did you ever see these? It was 7 of us. My lawyer's like, did you ever see any of these guys in your house? He said, impossible. You know Joey Merlino? Never seen him. Was he ever in your, did you live in the house this date? Yeah, here's the deed, everything. The fucking jury was laughing. He lied. He lied, got caught. He got caught in a million lies. And the jury didn't believe one word he said. They said it. After the trial, the jury said, I don't know why the government wasted their time putting him on the stand. We didn't believe one thing he said.
Well, I mean, you guys were friends at one point. Why do you think he turned on you and started testifying against you?
Because he got caught selling drugs. He was getting life with no parole. He got caught selling drugs. Not with us. Him and his son-in-law, got caught selling drugs with Previty, Ron Previty. Had nothing to do with us. He got caught selling meth for his 4th time. He was getting life with no parole, never getting out. So what did he do? Made up a story, blamed us for everything. He got 10 years, whatever, instead of life. His son-in-law got out, and we had to fight for our lives. Everybody that told on me got caught doing something like by themselves. You know what I mean? They didn't get caught doing a crime with me. Everybody that told on me, just like Trump. The lawyer Cohen, what the fuck's his name? He got caught fucking income tax. Now he's telling on Trump. Fuck's he blaming Trump for? Trump ain't got nothing to do with him. It's the same story. It's easy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that same year, 98, a shooting broke out that Allen Iverson was
we were
somehow involved in.
Yeah, we were in a club in Gotham. I went to it was the rapper Corrupt. It was his birthday party, and I got invited. And I went, and Iverson was pulling up. My friend had the valet, and they wouldn't let him park. And I said, let him park. And Allen Iverson. And we went in, we were in there the whole night having a good time. There was a shootout outside. 2 people got killed. They blamed us the next day. I get blamed for everything.
Okay. I mean, it's one thing to get blamed, but it's another thing to get indicted. So did you actually get indicted for those shootings or just?
No. But the paper, the paper, the Kitty Caparella, the Daily News, every day I was in the paper. Anything that happened in Philly, they blame me.
Well, they're saying by the late 90s, there were more than 24 attempts on your life.
That's what they said. They did a bad job. I'm still here.
If you were to count in your head, because, obviously the drive-by was an attempt that is all out there. If you were to count in your head the number of times that you knew that people tried to kill you. Not the times you found out after the fact, but you knew, hey, someone just tried to kill me and I managed to dodge it. How many times would that be?
I didn't know. No, not at all.
How do you really keep yourself sane when you know that people are out trying to get you in a city that you live in and people know essentially where you are?
I'm fine. I guess they're jealous of me. I don't know. I don't even know these people. I'm serious. See all these people that got these shows. We'll talk about Franchise, Sammy the Bull, and whatever his name is, Barello, Chical. I don't even know their names. The only one I know is Phil Leonetti. I don't know none of them. I never met them. I was never in jail with them. If they walked in this building right now, I wouldn't know who they are.
Well, in 1999, you were indicted and detained without bail on one charge of conspiracy to distribute more than 5 kilograms of cocaine, one charge of unlawful use of a communication facility in relation to a drug trafficking offense.
Yes. And I was acquitted.
And it was actually expanded to a RICO charge.
Yeah.
Well, saying that you approved 3 murders, 2 attempted murders, and 6 other men were put on trial.
Right. And I was acquitted of everything.
So this is a full-blown RICO case.
Yeah.
Is this your first RICO case? Because the other ones seemed like they were just specific.
No, that was my first RICO case. It lasted, I think the trial was like 5 months, 4 or 5 months. And then we got acquitted of everything. I mean, the only thing we told the jury, the only thing I'm guilty is receiving stolen property and gambling. And that's what I got convicted of, receiving stolen property and gambling. I was supposed to get 6 years. I got 14. That was my guideline, 6 years. I beat every drug charge, murder charge, attempted murder charge. We beat everything.
Well, when you have a specific charge, trying to beat that is a little bit easier than beating a RICO, because a RICO is all-encompassing. You don't have to be there. You don't have to be caught with anything. As long as a certain number of people agree to testify against you, then you could get life in prison for doing absolutely nothing. Just because a bunch of people said that you did it and they could somehow prove you're affiliated in some sort of criminal organization.
I had 3 RICO cases.
Aha.
So okay. I beat that, the one in Philly. We beat all the murders. I got acquitted. We got acquitted on a Friday night. One of the murders was a Sedano murder. It happened, they said, in Newark. And I got acquitted on a Friday. Saturday, I got indicted on his murder. That same exact murder in federal court in Newark. That never happened to nobody.
So basically, once you beat the state case, the feds took on the case and retried you.
They're allowed to do that. Like, if the state tries you first on a murder case, to say the state tries me to say the Sedano murder, and I beat it, the feds can indict you and charge you over again. But if the feds charge you first, the state can't charge you and the feds can't charge you again. It's double jeopardy. But with me, there's no rules. I beat it in federal court in Philadelphia on a Friday. Eastern District, on a Friday, we got acquitted. Saturday, I got indicted in Newark, federal court, same murder, same witnesses, same everything. And I had to go, and they went for the one in Philly, the first case in Philly, they went for the death penalty on us. They had to go to Washington to get approved. But they said Ralph was worse than us. So they didn't go for the death. You know, they didn't give it to them to give to us. And then the case, I beat that case, and then I went to trial in Newark. They wanted to go for the death penalty again, but they didn't. And I was facing life with no parole, and I beat it again. 24 people found me not guilty. What the 2 jurors found me not guilty.
Right, because Natale actually cooperated against you in one of these cases.
Both of them.
Because
them.
He had the drug trafficking case in 99. And then a bunch of other people cooperated against you as well.
Yeah, the guy who shot him cooperated. Pete the Crumb, his name is. How's that beauty? He said that I told him to do it. He's been people for 70 years. He needed me to tell him to do it. My lawyer asked him on the stand, how many people did you? He said, I don't know, maybe 28, 30. He didn't even know how many people he's been people since 1940. I wasn't even born yet. He needed me to tell him to kill a guy. I got acquitted, and the jury didn't believe a word they said.
Well, the people that cooperated against you were Gaetano Scafidi, a.k.a. Tommy Horsehead.
Horsehead, yeah. Another beauty. Another guy got caught doing a crime by himself.
Peter Caprio, a.k.a. The Crumb.
Pete the Crumb, yeah. He killed more people than cancer. He said he needed me to fucking tell him to kill somebody.
Okay. And Ron Previte?
Previty.
Sorry.
Yeah, he was a cop. He was a fat piece of shit. I got tapes I'm going to play on my podcast. I'll send them to you. The government's so crooked. When he was a cop, the judge wouldn't let us play it. I'm surprised. If it was today, like this was 99, if the trial was today, they would throw him out. He said when he was a cop, all he used to do is go get black people and beat them up and rob them and throw them down the steps. That was his thing. Like he's telling me it's on tape. I said, what? He said, yeah, that's all I used to do is go into bad neighborhoods, rob all the black people, take all their money and throw them down the steps. He threw them out windows and everything. Nice. That's the people they took as a witness. Beautiful.
Right. Well, they said that you and 13 others ran a ring that stole more than $1.3 million of goods from city rail yards.
That's another thing I got thrown in. I had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
No, they were selling stolen shit, whatever the fuck it was. Stolen property. Hot stuff.
Right. And all those guys I just named, they testified that you and Natale started a mob board to take over the Philly crime family. And you did various criminal acts in terms of that.
And I was
ultimately, all of that got thrown out.
I got acquitted everything.
Okay. Well, the jury came back. You were acquitted on all 3 counts of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder.
Yes.
But you were found guilty of racketeering, including extortion, bookmaking, and receiving stolen property.
Yeah.
So you got a 14-year sentence for that?
Yeah. My guidelines were 60-something months. The judge hated us, so he gave me 14 years.
Right. Judge Herbert J. Hutton.
Hutton, yeah.
Right. When you got it, you said, it's not bad, better than death penalty.
Well, I was facing the death penalty. The 14 years is better than death, right? What the fuck? It was a layup. I had to do I think I had to do like 9 more years. Walk in the park.
How much money did you spend to fight those RICO cases?
A lot. Friends and family help. Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, we're going up against the United States government. My lawyer used to say it in his own, they won 3 world wars. They print their own money. How the fuck are you going to go? And they got all the resources in the world. How the fuck are you going to go against? They could just keep on indicting you. Listen, they did it to me. I beat the fucking Sedano murder. I got indicted the next day. The same fucking murder in Newark federal court. I had to go to trial again. A month trial.
I mean, yeah, if you look at, a federal indictment, it'll say the United States versus.
Yeah.
You're going against the whole country.
The whole country. They print their own money. They just put the machine on.
Right. I mean, when you think about how much you spent, was it hundreds of thousands of dollars? Millions of dollars?
A lot of money. Yeah, I had to sell everything. Sold jewelry, fucking everything. I'm fighting for my life.
Well, the fact that you were found guilty of extortion, bookmaking, and receiving stolen property, the fact that you got convicted of it, can you say what you did in terms of that, or do you feel like
the only thing I did was, listen, we got convicted of bookmaking. I didn't even book. I was betting with the FBI, with Previty. He was an undercover agent. And he said to me, You got guys to bet? I'm a degenerate. I said, yeah, I got good guys. It was me. I was putting the bets in. I said, yeah, I got a guy Louie, a guy Frank. I'm just giving him names. I was putting the bets in. I lost the game by half a point. I would have won. They would have had to pay me $350,000. I lost $350,000. I didn't pay him. It was the FBI, though. I didn't know. I know I'm betting with the FBI. There was no bookmaking operation ring. It was me. It was my bets.
Do you feel like you had a gambling problem?
I love to gamble.
Okay. But do you feel like you're addicted to gambling?
Nah. That's how I was brought up. I've been playing cards since I'm 7 years old.
Right. Right, but you're making $350,000 bets. That's not playing cards when you're 7 years old.
Well, I was trying to get out. We were stuck. It was the FBI.
Okay. Now,
but
what
that's
about
what it
the
was.
extortion?
I never, listen, you could ask anybody in Philly. I ain't never took a bet in my life. I got 3 bookmaking cases. I never took a bet in my life, me or my friends. We're degenerate. We bet. But
so you consider yourself a
everybody
degenerate
that
gambler.
came in was all bookies, and they said, we had a guy come in, Castellero. The Sixers were playing The fuck were they playing? The Lakers in the championship. Now this guy came in and testified that we extorted him, which was a dead fucking lie because he was a bookmaker. And my lawyer said, when's the last time you took a bet? He said, last night. Now his agreement is he ain't supposed to take no more bets no more. They all got the same with the agreement. If I break the agreement, they're going to rip it up. And my lawyer said, are you going to take a bet tonight? He looked at his clock. He said, if I get out of here on time, yes, I am. They gave him a fucking license. I'm fucking on trial for bookmaking. He's still taking bets. You figure it the fuck out. That's fuck. The jurors, like, fucking, it's sick. Look at JR. You heard of that beauty, right? In New York, Rubio?
Yeah.
Look at him. He broke his agreement 9 times. 9 times. Yep. They never throw him out.
Well, you refer to yourself as degenerate. Like, what exactly is a degenerate gambler?
No, I like the gamble. I like football. I like action. Okay. We bet on anything when we were kids. Gumball machine. I'll race you around the corner for 400. Whatever you want to do. 30 million. Listen, they gave these guys 30 million to fight. I'll fight Mayweather. He could shoot at me in the ring for 30 million.
Okay, so the extortion part that you got convicted for, what exactly was that about?
It was all these bookmakers that got caught. All the bookmakers that got caught, whatever, fucking booking, came in and said, oh, yeah, I gave them work. I paid them money. They didn't give us no. So it was their way to get out of jail. They were going to jail.
Okay, and the receiving stolen property, what was that?
I told my lawyer, get up and tell the jury we did. I don't give a. We're not going to get 3 years. Our main concern was all the violence and, the bad crime. I didn't give a about gambling and fucking receiving stolen property. I did. I told him I did it. I don't go. We didn't do it, but I didn't care. Everybody in that ring, all the people who did everything, did all the robbing and everything, they didn't go to jail. I went to jail. They came in, they said, yeah, Joey knew about it. They went home and I went to jail.
Okay, so you get convicted for this whole situation.
Right.
And you were given a 14-year sentence.
Right.
But then a month after the verdict, you were indicted for the 1996 murder of Joseph Sedano.
Right, but I just beat it in Philly.
Aha.
That was in the RICO in Philly. And when I got acquitted, the next day they indicted me in Newark on the same murder, and I had to go to court again, trial again.
Right. I mean, despite the jury findings, the murder charge were not proven as a RICO predicate act.
Right. That's how it goes in a RICO. It's proven or not proven. It's not guilty or not. If it's proven, you're guilty. If it's not proven, you're not guilty.
Right. And you end up getting acquitted of that.
Yes. And then I got indicted again in Newark, and I went to trial for a month. The same charge. I got charged with conspiracy to murder and murder. In a RICO. I had a RICO again. I had 10 co-defendants. They all pled out. And then it was me and a guy named Beeps left. We were charged with the murder. And then they dropped the murder on him and they gave him 18 months for, I don't know, gambling, some. So my lawyer called up and said, could you give my client 18 months for the gambling? Well, I had a prosecutor. This is how sick these people are. The Guano. He was from Philly. He tried our RICO in Philly. After we got acquitted, he moved to Newark to try me on the murder. He was obsessed with me. He was a nut. He wanted to kill himself, the prosecutor. That's how crazy he was. And they tried me again, and I got acquitted.
Do you think, in retrospect, that a lot of these cases were because the media kind of painted you as a flashy guy? I mean, they were calling you like the Philly version of John Gotti.
Why? Because I dress good? Did you see them 3 yesterday? Sammy the Bull, and they look like hobos, bums. Who the dresses like that? No, I like nice things. I like to dress. I dressed nice my whole life. My father was a good dresser. My mother was. My whole family dresses good. I wore suits when I was 7. What's wrong with that? Is that a crime, dressing good?
Not at all.
Right. Driving a nice car. Is that a crime? What am I going to drive? A 1960 Honda?
Hey, man, listen, I'm just telling you.
No,
this whole time, you're in the papers all the time.
Right.
All the time. And you're beating this case. And, what I mean? Like, when you look at, like, the dressing and the whole Teflon Don of beating all these cases, like, people are making parallels. And, a lot of times that doesn't work out good for you in the end because that ends up pissing off, law enforcement.
Right. What am I going to do? If that's a crime, lock me the up again. Well, there's nothing I could say. I mean, I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm down here golfing. I'm doing a podcast. I'm trying to do the right thing. They don't like it. They don't like it because I'm exposing the rats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the voice for the good people.
Right. So basically, when you get the 14-year sentence, they send you to Indiana.
No, they sent me to Beaumont, Texas. I got indicted. I got the 14 years, and I was indicted on the Sedano murder in Newark. I fought double jeopardy. Double jeopardy is the only thing you appeal before the trial. So I appealed it to the Third Circuit in Philly. The chief judge ruled in my favor. He said the guy got acquitted. He said he shouldn't be tried again. He beat it. And it took like 2 years. I was in Beaumont for 2 years. Then I lost. I went to the Supreme Court. They wouldn't hear it. They shipped me back from Beaumont to Passaic County Jail, then to Hudson County Jail. And I went to trial again, and I beat it. And then they shipped me back to Beaumont because I had a detainer on me. I had a murder detainer, so I got to stay in the penitentiary. And then after that, they shipped me from Beaumont. Where the f*** did they go from there? Beaumont. I went to USP McQuarrie. And then they put me in Marion, USP Marion. And then they put me in a hole for a year in there. And then they sent me to Terre Haute to a terrorist unit, a CMA unit, communication management unit. It was like me and 40 guys, 35 of them were terrorists. I don't know what the fuck I was doing there. I had stolen property and gambling.
Right. That's what I meant by Indiana, in Terre Haute, Indiana. That's
Indiana, yeah. It was the old death row where I was in fucking Timothy McVeigh's cell. Remember the guy, the thing? Then they built a new thing. That was the death row. And they made the old death row, they put a new penitentiary up, and they made that a communications management unit.
Okay. So when you were locked up with the terrorists, were you guys talking and conversing with each other, or did they separate you guys?
No, we're all the same unit, 35. I mean, they tell you right there, the whole unit's bugged. You got one phone call a month. Your visits through glass. It's on camera. Camera on me, camera on you. You got to speak. You got to tell them what language you speak. You tell them English. If you say anything, they hang up. They come and take you out. It was nuts. And then I left there. That's how I came home from there. Well, I was going to a halfway house, and they wouldn't let me fly on a plane. They put me on a no-fly list. My own no-fly list for. I had to drive from Indiana to Florida.
Okay, but I'm saying when you were locked up in Indiana with the terrorists, do you remember any of their names?
John Walker Lynn was with us.
John Walker
Lynn. He was I think he got shot when they invaded Afghanistan. He was American or something, fighting for the Taliban. I don't know, some fucking nut.
Aha! This is the guy who joined the Taliban.
Yeah, he was there. There was a lot of them for supporting terrorism. You know, like I don't know what the fuck they were there for. Like I really didn't bother with them. You know, we had like I had a couple guys from Boston with me, bank robbers. You know, I hung with them. We worked out. We didn't really, bother with them. They're all rats too.
Okay, so in 2011, you get out.
Right.
You served almost 12 years.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like to, essentially go to prison in, the 90s and get out in the 2010s?
The only difference with the cell phones, they didn't have good cell phones then. That was it. I remember I was watching the news. The first Apple phone came out. I'm like, wow, look at that phone.
Exactly. The iPhone came out while you were locked up.
I didn't even know how to work the motherfucker. I didn't know how to work it.
Okay. So you get out. They send you to a halfway house in Florida.
Yeah.
And this was 2011. And you're on supervised release until 2015.
14, I think. Yeah. And they violated me. Philly violated me. I got 4 months.
What did you get violated for exactly?
Association again. Philly not even. I was living in Florida. Philly violated me, and I went to court. They gave me 6 of them. I should have beat everyone. They just got out and lied. And then I appealed it. I had 8 days left, and I won the appeal. I did 4 months in the FTC in Miami.
Right. That was 2015.
Yeah.
Right. So you go to Miami for 4 months. You get out. Then in 2016, you were one of 46 people arrested for a RICO.
Yeah, another RICO.
Another RICO.
RICO.
Right. You get charged with 1 count of racketeering, 1 count of fraud, 2 counts of illegal gambling.
Yes.
They're saying that you went into an illegal business with the Genovese Mafia as part of this massive medical fraud scheme.
Right. All I didn't make it. I listen. If the judge hated me, Judge Sullivan, he hated me. I got tapes. He wouldn't let me play 1 tape. All my cases, the judge let me play all my tapes. He wouldn't let me play 1 tape. If I could have played my tapes, I'll go back to trial tomorrow. I'll represent myself. I'll get acquitted in 10 minutes. I got a hung jury. I couldn't play 1 tape. I got JR. If you hear, I play tapes on my podcast. You hear him? He's in jail. He hopes I get 100 years. I got him on tape saying Joey won't do nothing illegal. 20 guys he's telling. He said, I keep on trying. He won't do nothing illegal. What the fuck? The judge said that's hearsay. Fuck's it hearsay? When I say something in the gray area, it ain't hearsay. You can't win with these. But I got a hung jury on all counts. And then they came back. I knew I couldn't play my tapes. They were taking me back to trial. I had the same judge. My lawyer said they're coming to plead guilty for making a bet. So I pled guilty, not bookmaking, placing a bet over the phone. And everybody on the case got, for bookmaking, they got house arrest, 3-4 months. He gave me 2 years. Gave me the max, 2 years for making a bet. The whole world bets. $82 billion was bet on the Super Bowl. They would have to lock the whole fucking country up.
Right. It was a 2-week trial.
Yeah.
And to avoid a retrial, you put in a guilty plea for 1 charge of facilitating illegal gambling transactions via an electronic device.
Yeah, I called up and made a bet. And I lost the bet, too. I bet New England. They lost the Yeah, bet. Placing a bet over the phone.
I mean, listen, everyone bets. You're absolutely right. I bet, and all my friends bet, whatever else. But they also don't have a bunch of RICOs and, a whole bunch of charges in regards to betting. I mean, at this point in your life, you're in your 50s. Why not just say, I'm done with betting?
I like it. I'm still betting. You got a bookmaker for me? You got any account?
Why not go to Vegas where it's legal?
I just came back from here. I lost 2 out of San Francisco.
But I mean, during that time, why not just say, listen, I know everyone's watching me. I know that I'm going to have rats that are going to try to drag me into their cases.
What's the crime betting? Listen, before I pled guilty, they legalized it. You could bet it all over the country. What the It's betting. I ain't hurt nobody. Betting. They bet.
I am not arguing with you.
Right.
I'm not saying this is fair, but you end up getting 2 years. And 2 years at age, 55 is
You
ugly.
think that's fair giving somebody 2 years for betting? I mean, come on.
No, it's not.
I mean, come on.
It's not. But if you know that you have a spotlight on you, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's just the way I am. I mean, put me in jail. What am I going to do? I ain't going to change the way I am.
Okay.
What you see is what you get.
You end up getting an early release, and you got out in 2019.
Yeah, I did a year, and I did it. They put me in a halfway house. Then I got hit with COVID. Yeah.
So you get out. You're in a halfway house. I mean, at this point, you're 57 years old. I mean, does it get tiring at this point? Jail, halfway house, trying to get your life back on track, and then dragged back into court. Because I remember, this last case, you had to put up like a $5 million bond.
$5 million.
Sheesh.
$5 million. And Biden's son, he put up nothing. He walked in, walked the fuck out.
Right. Well, speaking of Biden, in 2023, you actually had a photograph with Trump.
Yeah. Well, they said I fixed the election. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, they said I made Biden win in Philly. I made $3 million. It was in some paper in Buffalo. Said I made $3 million and I made Biden win. Biden, I don't even like Biden. I won't vote. I can't even vote anyway, but I love Trump. I'm a Trump guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think I actually heard something about that. I think some guy interviewed told me something about like the Philly mob somehow trying to.
Yeah, it was in a Buffalo paper. Yeah, they said I fixed it. They said I fixed the Super Bowl too.
Okay. And there was an article in the Philly Inquirer that basically said with that picture with Trump, he said Trump didn't know who you were.
He didn't. The guy took pictures with 400 people. Listen, he's a gentleman. He takes pictures with everybody. Anybody went up to him and took a picture with. And I went up there and took a picture with him. And it became a big thing.
How many RICOs have you gone through so far?
3.
3.
After this conversation, it might be 4.
Might be 4.
I'm bringing you on as a witness.
I mean, when you see Trump go through his RICO, what do you think will happen to someone who's been through 3 RICOs?
Now, just let me, that's a good question. Trump's got 4 cases, right? Four different cases, and he just paid back $83 million to that fucking ugly fucking girl, whoever she was. She had to pay Trump $83 million to go out with her. And he's got to pay $350 million. What is it? For the for the property.
For the fraud case in New York.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's got to pay, he's got 4 cases, 91 counts, and just lost almost $500 million. And everybody with Jeffrey Epstein, all the molesters, none of them got indicted yet. It's 4 years. You tell me what the f***'s wrong. You tell me if I'm nuts.
Well, I mean...
Clinton was at Epstein's house more than Epstein.
Right. Well, Epstein was convicted and, he was on his way to sentencing. I mean, he was already in jail when he killed himself, so...
No, I'm just saying, it's all... If that was Trump, they would have killed him. It's a disgrace. They control the country.
I mean, but do you think, based on everything you went through and everything you know about RICO, do you think that he'll be found guilty of a RICO or no?
Trump? Nah. Trump walked right out.
Nah?
I like to be his lawyer. I'll walk him right out there. I'll walk him right out the fucking door.
Got it. So tell me about Tommy Hill and your affiliation with him.
Tommy Hill was a rapper. When I was away, he became a rat. But before he was a rat, he was from Richard Allen Projects. And I went there. I gave turkeys out, like 500 turkeys, gave kids coats and all, toys. And he came to me, he said he wanted to start a group. So I had my friend Epi, Jewish guy, Stephen Epstein, his wife was Linda Creed. She wrote all the stylistic songs. She wrote The Greatest Love of All. She's a big songwriter. She died of breast cancer young. So he was in the music business. So he was good, Tommy. I mean, they were good. And they started, and there was another group called the Saint Lunatics. That was Nelly. He was with the Saint Lunatics. Nobody even knew who Nelly was. And they were on each other's videos, whatever. So we're this close to get him signed with Universal. Epi knew somebody there. So they were staying at the 10 Packard at the Holiday Inn. Epi got him a room to keep him out of trouble. So the manager knew me. The guy calls me up one day, Tommy. He says, you got to get these out here. They're going to call the cops. I said, for what? He said, they're smoking pot. The whole hotel smells of pot. So I go over there. I get off the elevator, the floor, the stinks of pot. I knock on the door, Tommy. They got like a suite. I said, Tom, you got to stop. They're going to lock these up. So there was a girl in there. This is my luck. And she says, Joe, could you get me a record deal? I was going away, so I'm going to Florida. I said, when I come back, I said, what's your name? She said, Eve. It was fucking Eve. The girl Eve. She wasn't even, make a long story short, I get locked up. I'm in FDC watching the BET video. 6 months later, I see Eve on there singing. I said, it was the fucking girl. But Tommy, he it all up. He got in a fight with Universal, and Nelly became a star, and he became a fucking rat. And I was in jail. I was in jail when he was a rat. I never talked to him again, never. So we never associated with him again.
Well, yeah, he became an informant in 2003.
Yeah, I was over their way. I got locked up in 99.
Right.
But we were done with him after that. He fucked the whole deal up. He did something with the lady on Universal. He cursed her or something.
Well, right. In 2011, he was shot dead.
Yeah, I read that in the paper. I have no idea.
I mean, when you look at this life, when you look at all the various mafia guys and so forth, what percentage of them end up cooperating? 50%, 70%, 90%?
Today it might be 98%. Who the knows? It's up there. I don't know. I can't answer that. But a lot of them.
I mean, if what you're saying is true and 98% of people cooperate, why would anyone willingly get into a life like this? Knowing that at some point these people, they're supposed to be your brothers and you take an oath with them, ultimately end up turning on you.
I don't know nothing about that. It's just, they make it that easy to get out of jail. All you got to do is say, he told me that he did it. That's it. You could be in my cell for 2 weeks. All I got to do is read your indictment or your newspaper, and I say, yeah, Vlad told me he did this, he did that, and he did that. And you got a case. It's that easy.
When you look at, for example, Sammy the Bull,
right?
He admitted to killing 19 people,
right?
You know, in terms of his involvement in 19 murders, one of which is actually his brother-in-law.
How about the kid, the 16-year-old? He don't talk about that. He killed the 16-year-old innocent kid.
He ended up getting 5 years because for his, you know, he cooperated against a bunch of mafia bosses. I mean, he was going on a tour of taking the stand whenever they wanted to in order to achieve that. What's your take on it?
Well, you got 5 years. He killed 18 people. You do the math. That's, what do you get? 3 months of murder. You get more for drunk driving. Right? You get more for drunk driving. 3 months. 3 months of murder you got. That's like taking bin Laden to get his underlings. Would they give bin Laden a deal? He went and told all people. I mean, listen, they all got the same Franchise, Sammy the Bull, I don't even know, Sicali, whatever. They're all, that fat kid, Ruggiero, whatever the fuck his name. He said they changed their life. That's what they say. Yeah, they changed their life when the fucking handcuffs went on them. Let me ask you a question. If Sammy the Bull and all them, whatever the names are, Franchise, all these rats never got locked up, where would they be right now? You tell me.
I'm not sure. Probably doing the same thing they were doing
yes,
before they got
Philly
locked
and Eddie,
up.
Yeah, Philly and Eddie, his mother used to love it when they called them. They used to write in the paper, Phil Crazy Philly and Eddie. She loved it. He would be in Atlantic City. Sammy the Bull be on Mulberry Street. Franchise, now he found God. They all found God. You didn't find, when you were robbing the government out of gas money, you didn't find God. You didn't go to church and give them no fucking money. You were a tough guy walking around New York. So they didn't change. The handcuffs changed them when they got locked up. That's the fucking bottom line. They could say whatever they want just to try to justify it. This guy said this. This guy was going to kill me. This guy didn't give my wife. Ralph used to say, I went to jail. They didn't give me no money. They all got to say, there's no excuse. They were going to jail. If Ralph didn't go to jail, if he didn't get locked up, he'd be walking around like fucking Hitler.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've interviewed, easily over 100 people that have cooperated for various reasons. And it's always like, I would have gone to jail and done 500 years until I heard the tape of John Gotti saying that he's going to turn on me. And then at that point, I cooperated against everyone. And it's like, well, you didn't just cooperate against Gotti. You cooperated against all these other people that didn't say anything about you. And it's like, well, but it's not just me. I was just one of many and so forth. There's always a great excuse to cooperate. It's always, I would have done it except that this one thing, and that made me go completely in the opposite direction.
You're 100% right. Listen, they can say everything they want, money, all this, that. The main thing is when them handcuffs went on them, when they got indicted, that was it. They were telling. If they didn't get indicted, they'd still be out right now. They'd be wherever they still be doing what they were doing. So it's all shit when they say, I changed my life. You didn't change your life. The handcuffs changed your life. I'm the same guy. I got indicted 5 times. Nothing changed my life. I'm the same guy. That's it.
Well, yeah, I remember I interviewed Freeway Ricky Ross, who at one point was one of the biggest drug dealers in America. He ran the whole West Coast. And at one point, his drug connect ended up testifying against him. And he ended up getting life in prison, which he ultimately got reversed. But I remember him telling me something very interesting. He said, when I first got to prison, I was angry. I was like, how could this guy do this to me? I made him hundreds of millions of dollars. He met my family. I met his family. And then a light bulb went up over his head and he said, oh, he just had to accept that snitching was part of the world of crime. That if you're going to get into crime, you have to accept, not be surprised that most people will end up snitching on you. And once you accept that, then you don't get angry over people snitching on you.
First of all, I made the mistake of getting in the drug business. That was my first mistake. My next mistake was I went back into the drug business after I said I quit.
Yeah.
So what he did is he only did what people do in the drug business. They tell. They set you up. And for somebody to go into the drug business and not understand that, which I was in the drug business and didn't understand it, but I came to grips with it.
It just becomes part of the game. I mean, would you agree with that?
No. I mean, everybody that told on me got caught doing their own crime. It ain't like me and you went and robbed the bank. I went in and then we get caught and you told on me. They all got caught. Ralph got caught selling meth. Everyone got caught doing their own crimes. Pete the Crumb got caught. He was playing fucking cards on top of 3 dead bodies they buried 25 years ago. They were dead. They were getting life with no parole, never getting out. So they came in and said, yeah, Joey told me this, Joey told me that. How the fuck, how's it even fucking hold up? I don't understand it. I'm the get out of jail. Did you ever see Monopoly, get out of jail free? That's what the fuck it is. It's that fucking easy. And they do it. They take them. How many people were going down there to try to testify against us? I was in jail. They robbed my locker. I said on the podcast, I had fucking 50 packs of cigarettes, stamps. You know, stamps are money in jail. They took my indictment, nothing else, and my phone book. Then they tried to put me in a cell. When I got moved, I beat the case in Philly. When they shipped me to Beaumont, when I came back from USP Beaumont, they sent me to Hudson County. They put me in, who did you think they put me in a cell with? I couldn't think of his name. Mark Goodwin. He testified against the Traits brothers. I know he's a rat. Like, it's known. I walk in his cell. He said, how you doing, Joe? I said, get the fuck out of the cell. He said, what? Get out. I went right to the cop and I said, listen, get me out of the cell, put me in the hole. I ain't going to cell with this. And they moved me on another block. I know what he was going to do. I'd be in a cell with him 2 weeks. Even if I didn't say a word to him, he's going to come and say, yeah, Joey told me he did this. Joey told me he did that. I didn't give him the chance. I'd get me the fuck out right now. I ain't going to the cell. He's a rat. And they put me on another block.
Yeah. I mean, but if you think about it, though, what's the most valuable thing in someone's life?
Freedom.
Time.
Yeah, and freedom. It's
time.
Priceless.
But what I'm saying is there's nothing more valuable than time, because we all have a limited amount of it. So if a person could ultimately tell on you in order to get more time in terms of, out of a jail cell, you can't be totally surprised they're going to do that. Like you said, you could just be hanging out with a guy talking about nothing, and they'll turn around and make up a bunch of stuff about you just to get out of prison quickly.
Yeah, I'm a get out of jail card free. That's it.
Exactly.
That's how easy it is.
Yep. Well,
there's cases like Philadelphia. Listen, I'm the voice for why I got a podcast, because there's innocent people in jail. There's a guy right now, Marty Tassetta, 33 years he's in jail. He's going to get out on lies. Philadelphia lied on him, and Al DiArco. They both lied on him. The guy's in jail for 33 years. How would you feel if you were in jail for 33 years? And innocent. And the FBI knew it. They held the paper back for 25 years. He was at a dentist. It's impossible for him to be there. And he's doing 33. I'm the voice for that. If I'm doing something wrong, I don't go. Put me in jail, lock me up, do what the you want to do. That's why I'm doing a podcast. There's a lot. Listen, everybody in jail ain't innocent, but what these people do, then they get on these podcasts and say, "Oh, I'm for the kids." No, you ain't for no kids. You left 500 kids orphans. You got their fathers in jail for life sentences. You ain't for the kids. The bottom line is they didn't want to go to jail. That's it. They can say whatever they want to say. That's all. That's what it is. Look at Sammy the Bull. Went to jail, got 5 years. 18 people came out and sold kids ecstasy. Nice guy, right? Beautiful.
Right.
That's what he gave back to the community. I gave turkeys out. He gave ecstasy out. And I'm the bad guy.
Well, now you have a podcast, which you mentioned a few times. The Skinny with Joey Merlino.
Yeah.
Where you actually give out football picks.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could actually take your gambling and sort of focus it into more of a legal direction this time.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
How's that working out?
I ain't bad. I ain't charging for picks. We give them out on a thing. We got up. YouTube don't like us. We got shadow banned. I mean, for no reason. I can't figure it out. We did a thing right before Thanksgiving. I gave out 500 turkeys, 100 bikes, 100 coats, 25,000. I gave him a meal. We didn't even do a podcast. We just did like videos. And I had a friend of mine on, McKeel, who was in jail for 47 years straight. He was on death row. He was innocent. They let him out. And I'm trying to do like some prison reform to get people out of jail. And they shadow banned me. What the f did I say wrong? What the f did I do wrong? The guy's 47 years, fat, innocent, and I gave out turkeys. They shadow banned me.
Well, I mean, I've interviewed sports figures that have bet on their own games. Like, for example, Tim Donaghy, who was the NBA ref.
He's from Philly. He's another rat. He's from Philly.
He cooperated.
Yeah.
Do you know him personally?
No, I don't know him. No.
Okay. If you go back, there's Pete Rose, who got caught betting on his own games, which is why he's not. Another Philly.
Philly. Look what they did to that guy. The greatest hitter of all time. He can't get in the Hall of Fame. You
cannot get in the Hall of Fame.
You got A-Rod's a rat. They're all on steroid rat. A-Rod works for baseball tonight. Pete Rose can't get in the Hall of Fame. They got baseball players doing commercials right now. Go to FanDuel and bet. And this guy bet. And he can't get in the Hall of Fame. They hate him. He's blackballed like me. They fucking hate him.
Yeah, no, I interviewed him recently.
He's a good man.
I think he's finally accepted the fact that in his lifetime he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe after he dies they might give him one, but at this point he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame.
It's been almost 30 years now. So eventually you got to quit worrying about it. I know what kind of player I was. My fans know what kind of player I was. My teammates, my opposition knew what kind of player I was. You know what I mean? And you're not going to put you in the Hall of Fame because you bet on your team to win. Do you really think I'm the only player ever to bet on baseball? No one can be that naive.
Yeah.
So I'll have to wait till I die, and I won't be part of it. But that's when they'll put me in after I die.
I mean, did you ever know any sports, players or refs or anything else like that became degenerate gamblers and started to kind of fudge the rules a little bit and start betting on their own games?
No, I wish I did. No, not at all. The kid Donahue, I didn't know. I don't know him. I know he's from Philly. I was away when he got pinched.
Well, yeah. I mean, what Tim said was actually pretty interesting. What he said was that he didn't necessarily make calls in order to win bets. He said that he knew coming into a game, based on who the refs were personally, he knows which refs like which players and which refs dislike which players. And they'll do certain calls based on their own personal, likes and dislikes. And based on that, he could beat the spread. I mean, when it came to betting on games, did you base it mostly on the relationship between the refs and certain players, or were other things more important than that?
I think that was a major thing that was involved, and also, what the league wanted called, and there'd be a morning meeting at 11 a.m. before every game, and there were certain things that they wanted you to crack down on, and I would take that and, consider who was in the game and who they wanted those things cracked down on, and know that it was going to put a team at a disadvantage.
Right, yeah, they know.
And, at one point, the Mafia found out about it, allegedly, and then, they started getting in on his action. And...
They always blame us. They always blame the Mafia. What Mafia? The guy was fixing games.
Right.
I think football's fixed. I think the Super Bowl was fixed.
You think the Super Bowl is fixed?
100%.
Why do you say that?
Well, they got the extra quarter. They played the whole overtime quarter, so it's $7 million for every 30-second commercial. You do the math. The fucking guy, they blocked the extra point. San Fran said they didn't know if they scored, they didn't know they would win the game. How the f you don't know the rules? I know the fucking rules.
They changed the rules recently.
Yeah, but if they scored here, they win.
Right.
The game's over. How the f you kick a field goal? And the holding calls were horrible.
Yeah.
They just wanted them. It's all scripted. Taylor Swift, all that.
Right. They're saying that Biden was in on it too. I mean, he actually even put up a little
Biden,
meme.
Yeah. He didn't even know what the fuck he was watching. Another 6 months, he'll be dead a year.
Who knows, man? Who knows? Well, Joey Merlino, man, appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure everyone check out, your podcast on YouTube, The Skinny with Joey Merlino.
No, it's on Patreon.
Oh, it's on Patreon.
Yeah,
now.
YouTube.
So on Patreon, go check out The Skinny with Joey Merlino, someone who has been betting for a very long time and has paid the price for betting, so you know that he takes it extra seriously.
Right.
Appreciate your time, man.
Thank you,
Wish
my
you
buddy.
all the best.
All right, take care. Thank you.
That's what it is. Peace.